This podcast is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Dudley, we had a I think it was Glenn in Tawnytown texted in when he heard that you were coming on the show. He said the Nuggets are going to win the NBA Finals. I guess he's assuming in that case that the Celtics are going to get to the finals too. But I'll let you start with your favorite basketball team. How you enjoying the playoffs?
Well, I am enjoying them, except for one game there where Boston didn't show up. But I would say if I was making bets, which I don't do, but if I was making bets, I would bet on Denver too until somebody knocks them out. I love my Celtics, but they worry me every once in a while. Their home record is not very good. The road record is really good. So, but yeah, I feel good about the Celtics. But yeah, I think Denver. Now I do think Denver's going to have a tough series with Minnesota. Anthony Edwards is cooking right now, as they say.
Yeah, I wonder how healthy they'll be. You look at Porzingis in Boston, you look at Murray, and you've already seen injuries already happen in the NBA with Butler, with Joel Embiid. These guys are out there kind of giving it the raw on one leg. Who do you think, Dudley, is, to me, and it's such a objective deal, but I have Jason Tatum as the number one American. Like if you're to say, I know it's a big Euro heavy league right now, the Joker and Luka, Giannis. I mean, it goes on and on. Even Rudy Gobert that the Nuggets are going to have to play. But man, I like some Jason Tatum. I think he might be the next face of the NBA for the Americans are concerned.
Yeah, I think he's been really good, and I think he's taken a step up this year. Playoff Jason will always be a thing until the Celtics do win it, so he has to ride with that. But if Porzingis is healthy, I think they'll be okay. It looked like he was tweeting last night after the game and in a walking boot as precautionary reasons. But yeah, I agree with you. Tatum has certainly moved himself to the front of that pack. And I say that knowing that Shea Gilchrist, SGA is a Canadian, from my understanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Oklahoma City, young talent. I think they're a little too soft right now as far as I know they're the number one seed, and that's amazing. I'm not taking anything away from them, and I think this group can win a title. I think they got to grow into it. I just think they're a little too much youth on their side when they have to play against that veteran Nugget. Now, if the Nuggets are banged up or they're hurt, or this series goes 7 that they're going to have with the T-Wolves, maybe the tone changes. But if all things are equal, Denver's healthy, Oklahoma City's healthy, man, I'd have Denver in 5, 6 at the most.
Yeah, I think the experience would be in play there. And also, I don't know that many people have anybody that can stop the Joker, but I think Jebediah Chet Holmgren does a great job for Oklahoma City, but still got to put on a little weight, I think, to be able to deal with the Joker a little bit. So,
Dudley, how'd you get to be a Celtics fan? Now, I grew up in Pittsburgh without an NBA team. My aunt, who still lives in Milton, Massachusetts, which essentially is Boston, had season tickets back at the Garden, and so she introduced me to the Celtics, and I became a Celtics fan from there. Now, I haven't followed the NBA in a few years. But if I were to pick a team, it would probably be Boston just because of that. How did you get to be a Boston fan?
Well, growing up in Newport, Arkansas, we got the 3 TV channels, and the only NBA game on during the week was on Sunday, and it was the Boston Celtics because they were doing so good in the 60s, obviously, and I fell in love with their team concept and Bob Cousy and then John Havlicek, and have just kept going since then, and Larry Bird, obviously, and just kept it going. But that was my basketball team because of the TV. The Cardinals were my baseball team because really the proximity to St. Louis, but also because we had a radio station in Newport that covered the Cardinals. We also got them on TV. And the Cowboys came along and they were the TV game of the week. So that's where I got it now. I've got a license plate thing on the front that says it has Cardinal, Cowboys, and Celtics logo, and I get comments about that all the time. Like, what in the world here? And so but that's it. It was the media back then, which was not the all the proliferation of media that we have now. We had those 3 channels. I mean, remember when Arkansas PBS came on? We all got excited because that was 4.
And they weren't showing too many sports. They are now, though. They got their high school championships there. That's for sure.
Quiz Bowl last weekend too. So,
hey, Janelle Davis. The crystal balls are starting to come in about Janelle Davis maybe being the next piece of the puzzle for Arkansas men's basketball under Cal. You heard anything going on there?
Well, if you listen to Matt Jones from Kentucky, you would think he's going to end up in Kentucky. If you listen to the Matt Jones from here, I mean, what do you say, Matt Jones from here? I do think it seems like he's leaning here, and the guys who have been doing these crystal balls here lately with the different Arkansas and Kentucky and stuff have gotten it right. And there's a young kid down there, Metz in Florida Atlantic, who seems to be getting most of these Florida Atlantic things right, and he's saying he's coming here. So that would be just an unbelievably huge pickup. Anybody that watched them 2 years ago, especially, knows what a great player he is. And let's be honest, a lot of really good young players, but you need some veteran guys. Jonas Adu coming on yesterday, and if you get John L., then I think you're going to be pretty good. I don't know what the others, what is it, 8 guys are going to look like, but first five's a pretty good start.
Yeah, Dudley, I've already penciled Phil and I in for the Final Four. That being said, with these 8 guys that you have left, tell me there's at least one holdover. Is anybody that was on the last year Arkansas Razorback basketball roster going to be on this next year, this version of Coach Cal's roster?
What I'm wondering, guys, is that I'm sure that just like everybody else, he has a list he's going down. And are there a few of these guys that, he would like to have on this team? Or is it a matter of, going down the list and finally getting there? I'd love to see Blocker back. I mean, I think he has a bright future. And I think we all think he was underutilized this year. I'd like to see him back. I do think that they would be wise to go get some shooters as well. And, we know that Joseph's Pinion's already at Arkansas State. I tell you what intrigued me this morning, I woke up and saw K.K. Robinson is in the portal again after 2 years at Arkansas, one at Texas A&M and one at Little Rock with Darrell Walker. Hey, that might be interesting. I think you do need some veteran point guard presence, and maybe he goes back here. But right now there's not too many left out there that hadn't already that were from here that hadn't already committed or looked to be leaning other places.
If I'm Bay Falls people, where's Bay Fall?
He went to Kansas. I think it's Kansas State.
He already went, because I was going to say I would be staying here now, because how much better? I mean, just think about practicing going against these guys. You're going to get nothing but better. But okay, he went to Kansas State. All right.
Hey, Dudley, what about the new offensive lineman that just came in from Syracuse? What do you know about him?
Well, the first thing is I'm going to have to learn to spell his name just M-O-R-E, then M-O-O-R-E, which, is the normal spelling. But this is Joe Moore that they got from Syracuse. He's a guy that has a lot of experience in playing college football. And I think one thing that, in reading what Otis and Richard Davenport and the others have been putting out, he's kind of this guy who can play all 3 spots there or all 5 spots, however you want to look at it, on a roster with center, guard, and tackle. And, I think that versatility is going to help them out. We all know that these offensive line coaches would love to have 2 complete lines, but then they also fall into where they like a 7 or 8 guy rotation. And from all indications, he's going to be able to be one of those versatile guys that I guess they use the term swing offensive lineman now. And they seem really enthused about picking him up. And I know that they're, after watching them go through spring practice, obviously the spring game, they are very high on the offensive lineman that they brought in. That had to be a big line, a big overall push to get those guys back. They're back up to 13 offensive linemen after losing, I think, 8 or 9 of them. Some of them that we thought would be great players here and didn't turn out to be. But I think the offensive line has made a push and feel good about where they're headed with that.
You've put more on the offensive line. I think you've added defensive tackle, linebacker, running back in the spring portal. What else do you think they're looking at right now?
I think you still want to go out and get you another wide receiver, and you still want to get another defensive lineman as well, and one more linebacker. That seems to be the guys that they have in here. I know my man Otis Kirk was up at 6 a.m. this morning because they were having some recruits coming in town. And they were a linebacker and the defensive lineman. So they're still working on that. And I think we knew at the end of last season, and certainly still after spring practice, that you needed to add a few more of those in, and I think that's what they're doing. They've already got 4 in the second portal period. Still have 7 scholarships left, which is amazing to me.
Hey, Dudley, did you see how cool? I saw the golf event down in New Orleans with the 2 Irishmen winning that. How long have they been doing that? Those guys get exemptions, and that's a real PGA sanctioned event. But man, that was just that just the 4-ball and the alternate shot. That was such a cool event. Did you see any of that?
Yeah, we do that a lot out on the course. Me and my buddies do that a lot on the course here. I like that format, and I did see some of it, and I think it's a fun deal. Yes, golf is can be such an individual game, and I love to watch just the normal events and all that, but switching it up every once in a while is kind of fun too.
We're switching it up topic by topic here, man. We've done basketball, football, golf, so let's just wrap up on a little baseball thought here. You've played over 40 games. Everybody wants to know, is there going to be an uptick offensively? We're still kind of waiting on it. Is by now, what they are offensively, or do you think there's room to get better?
Well, I think there's room to get better now. Do I have confidence that's going to happen? I thought it's going to happen all year. And, obviously Diggs has been hurt and kind of battling through that. It seems a similar situation to me, as Peyton Stovall battled through last year. I think that if he was completely healthy, this offense would be clicking, and you hope that he can get healthy toward the end of the year. But I tell you what, you just cannot keep Peyton Holt out of the lineup. And I know he made a great play defensively last weekend, and that obviously got the number 1 play on Sports Center and all that. But I tell you what, I keep finding myself putting Sparkplug by his name in the stories, and he's just one of these energy guys that no matter where you put him, he makes plays, and he just has to be in the lineup. And I know a lot of guys may be better defensively. I don't know that they're better hitting because he's up there at the top with Peyton Stovall. But I think they can get better, but I'm not willing to bet the house on it because, as you said, it's been a pretty much what we've seen is what we've gotten so far.
That was the question I had yesterday. I forget who I asked, but what's a number that you feel comfortable when we get into these regionals and we get into if we advance? What's a number you feel comfortable offensively that if we can get to? Because in football, it's like if we can hold an opponent under 17 points, we got a chance. What does this offense have to produce? Do you think if we can get 4 runs a game, do you think that's enough with this pitching that we can win?
I think that'll win games 1 and 2. I still worry about game 3. And I tell you what, Phil, you can talk on this as well. You may have already done today, but I'm intrigued by what Gage Wood might be able to do in that possible 3rd or 4th spot. We all know that you've got to have 4 guys going into the regionals. And so I'm kind of intrigued on what we can see from him.
BetOnline is your number 1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.